Hello, this is Melissa. I think the reason why I do that is because my email address has my maiden name. I get so upset. I was just talking to my daughter about how I do that. I told her you may do that too, but I've been married for way too long now to be doing that. Anyway, my name is Melissa Holden, and I'm doing right now the reason why I decided that I would just make a video. Because I was just thinking about things and I thought about writing and I thought it'll take me too long to write. So, and I haven't really just blabbered about stuff for a long time, so I'm going to go ahead and blabber. What I was thinking about was, it's hard for me to put into words because I'm thinking things and I think a lot. But then I had to think, how can I explain to somebody else what my thought is? Okay, there's something called prophecy. And it's where, or maybe that's too heavy of a word. Is that what I mean, heavy? It has so many meanings assigned to it, which I'm not referring to. I'm referring to the act of just foreseeing something. Like, I foresee that my children will come home at a certain time today. That's a good example to explain what I've been thinking about. I was thinking about how it seems like if you know enough, then you can predict things that are going to happen. And it's related to how much you know a lot of times. So, and what I was actually thinking about was about, like, the Nordic god Odin and how he wanted more knowledge and how things are considered foresight or prediction because you know enough. Well, if you know what's going to happen, then you can prophesy things. Okay, that was one of the thoughts that's been running through my head that I wanted to get out. So there was that thought. But what I was thinking was in conjunction with another thing that I was thinking, well, I don't think it's bad. I was thinking there was somebody was speaking yesterday and they said something and it was so awesome and I loved it, and I've just been thinking a whole lot of it and applying it to different situations and things in my life. And basically they were referring to situations where it's like, okay, imagine yourself falling. You're in that, you know you're going to fall and you slip, and falling is inevitable. You can't do anything about it. You know it's going to happen. And, okay, I'm talking about falling, but only just so that you can feel what I'm talking about. So you know what that feels like when you know something is inevitable. I remember there was a time when I was in the car with my husband, and at the time he's my ex-husband now. He was taking me somewhere, and I thought, is there something I can say or do that would change what's going to happen? So we're getting back to the prophecy and foreseeing. I knew what was going to happen, and I didn't want it to happen, and I thought, what can I say or do to make it change? There's nothing. Once you get to a certain point, you know what's going to happen is going to be inevitable. Okay, well, this person was talking about, I'm just going to give their metaphor because it produces a lot of good thoughts. Okay, the metaphor is you're in a room, right? There's no windows and no doors, and it's shut. So it's not even as much a room as it is a container. Okay, and you are not MacGyver, and you don't know how to get out, or you don't have a pack of gum or anything. So, what are you supposed to do? And the way he explained this is he says, many times in our life we find ourselves that way. We're locked in a room and we see it as final, and it's not final. What we need to do is not, oh, woe is me, look how terrible my life is, what did I do wrong, how can I fix this? He was saying that we need to have hope that something is going to be miraculous. That's when we need a miracle, and a window or a door will suddenly appear that wasn't there before. How many times in my life, or I'm just thinking to me, of course, not you, it's not going to happen in my life to you. But how many times when I feel like I'm stuck in a room without windows or doors, does a door just appear, and one that I hadn't even considered? So you couldn't intellectually foresee that door being there. You could have hoped for it, but you didn't know it was going to be there. Sorry, I don't have my teeth in. I'm not going to go get my teeth. Anyway, in the story, he was talking about, well, what do you do when you're in the room? Well, you don't give up. You just have hope. And what you do is, instead of hoping for a door or for a different situation, you just say, oh, well, this is where I am. It's hard to not foresee that as, well, I'm jumping back to prophecy. I hate using that word. That's not what I'm thinking about. When you're thinking, okay, it's like when you're a kid or a teenager and you're asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Is that prophecy? No. Your high school counselor isn't asking you to prophesy what's going to happen to you in the next 5 years. They're just asking you to extrapolate your thoughts. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, that kind of thing. So when you're in a room, you don't think of, so what are my various options that can help me out? You're not thinking that, but what you need to be doing is hoping that another option comes. But while you're there, what can you do? You can love those that are around you and do the best with what you have. I wrote down what was significant about it, and I can't remember now. I have a really bad problem with when I write things down, don't remember it. I was thinking about that the other day, how I remember pi. I used to remember it to 100 digits, and then I can remember it to 50. Now I can only remember it to 25. I was like, I'm going to write it down. And after I wrote it down, I thought, now I'm not going to be able to remember it. 3.1415926535897932384626433. See, I can't even remember. That's probably not right. And I don't know how I used to memorize things. I memorized a lot because I remember when I was in Twain by the Tail multiple times, and I played the part of Eve. I had these long soliloquies which were like 3 pages long of just me talking. And it wasn't difficult. But the way I memorize things is I wouldn't exactly say word for word. I'm like, so what is she saying? Okay. And then you get you get to know the character and how they say it. And then you're like, okay, so the points they need to make, these are the trigger points for the things the person says, so you need to make sure you hit those points. How would Eve say it? Oh, she'd say it like this, and that's how I remember it. What does that have to do with anything? Now you see why I'm making a video, because I can't stay on topic. What I was going to say is it's not bad to not think about your future. I was thinking about what the guy said about being in a room and needing to I wish I could remember. I wrote down. Sometimes, okay, a good metaphor would be sometimes there's like, you know how you have those doors where you push a button and the door opens? Sometimes there's a little trigger somewhere. Maybe it's like one of those Minecraft doors that has a little trigger and you have to find where it is and that'll set it off and then the door will open. So maybe there's things that need to be done, and by enduring what we need to do in that room, that'll earn us a point. But I was thinking about that. I'm totally lost my train of thought now, but my thought was, well, doesn't that mean that I need to focus in my life? The way I was applying it to me, I was like, well, that I need to stop thinking long term, because I think how I've messed up long term and what I want to see have happened and what will happen. And it's like, well, not even going to think about that stuff. I'm just going to focus on what I can do something about in my room. But I think I've said enough. The rest of it I just got to think about on my own. So my name is Melissa Holden and I still don't have a catchphrase. Sorry.